Unique amongst Britain's canal boats, President is the last remaining example of an original vessel restored for use with steam power. This is a year in its busy life. And what a year! A rainy day, and President is returning home from one of her many public appearances along the Grand Union Canal, through the Braunston Tunnel, to her home at the Black Country Living Museum. This tunnel, over a mile long, is one of the inland waterways' oldest, being built in 1796. Whilst in the tunnel, President's engine will condense its steam and much of the smoke from the boiler in order to keep the air as clean as possible. Back in the fresh air, and it's soon time to negotiate Braunston's flight of locks. President tows an unpowered butty boat, the Kildare, to carry extra load. Often they will not fit together in locks, but fortunately the Grand Union locks are wide enough to take them side by side. Summertime, and at last some sunny weather. President is passing through Hill Morton, near Rugby, on its way to Coventry Basin. Now on the Oxford Canal, the locks are no longer wide enough to take President and Kildare together. The butty boat will have to be towed in and out manually.
Nobody's told you? We'll just wait here.
The engine, which dates from the 1920s, uses about 1/4 ton of coal every day. Keeping it fed is a full-time job for the driver. He will need to keep his eye on both the steam pressure gauges and the water level in the boiler to ensure that there is always enough power and to avoid the risk of explosion. We are now nearing Coventry Canal Basin, and President is joined by several other steam-powered canal boats on their way to a Steam Association rally. None, however, can claim to be an original boat, unlike the Edwardian President. Coventry Canal Basin, near the centre of the city, where 12 steam-powered boats have gathered. It'll be quite a crush getting them all in.
On the Leveland, look. You.
Just join that boat.
Somewhere there.
Just join that boat there. Look.
Just a moment. I will tell you in a second.
Most of the canal network was built before the age of steam, and the bridges are not high enough to accommodate the boat's funnels. This means, of course, that the funnels had to be collapsible in order to pass under. The boat is maintained and operated by the Friends of President Society, a group of about 40 active volunteers with a wide range of expertise.
My name is David Stott. I'm the Chief Engineer of the Steam Narrowboat President, which I have been for the last 20 odd years. My love of the boats comes from two things. First of all, obviously a love of boating, which I've done a lot, hired boats, etc., but also a long-term love of steam. So here with the combination of these two wonderful things of working on the water and working with steam.
Like David Stott, I'm interested in boating, particularly with boats with steam in them. And it's been a great pleasure to bring the boat down to Coventry Basin this year. It's a long time since she was last here. Well, let's hope she comes again. It's a super setting, I think you'll agree.
I'm Roger Pryor. I'm a lowly steerer of this wonderful craft. What attracted me, I was just at an event rather like this in the middle of Birmingham and saw these idiots messing around with a dirty old steam engine and thought that's a good idea. I've always been interested in the canals, and this amalgamated the interest in getting around on the canals and being in a group.
I've been boating for about 30 years, and when I saw President's leaflet and about crewing on President, I immediately thought I'd like to have a go, and I've been doing it for about 3 or 4 years now and thoroughly enjoying it.
Atherstone, and President is on the move again, on its way home from another tour. Later in the year, it's time for the Braunston Historical Narrowboat Gathering.
Yep, can I include you in that, young boaters?
As the only steam-powered boat in the marina, President was the star of the show. We were joined by two of the country's biggest canal boat enthusiasts, TV stars Timothy West and his wife, Prunella Scales.
Oh look, she's got the pruning shin from the arm. Made by sisters, so to Gloucester. Gold chain. Stanton just going to join the tangle just outside the skylight, outside the stockhouse. Morning, Rupert.
The boat's home is at the Black Country Living Museum in Dudley, West Midland, where it's time for the President's team of volunteers to undertake some routine maintenance before the start of next season.
Right, today we're with Narrowboat President, and we're actually doing a working party. At the beginning of the season, what we do is we go through, get the boats ready for taking them out. And today, we've taken out the ballast from the boat, and we're treating and cleaning the hold, which obviously during the winter has had lots of, and last season, lots of coal dust on there. So we're removing all that to make it spick and span for the summer. During the winter, we do a lot of work on the engine. At the start of the winter, we drain the boiler, and then we have to clean out the bottom of the boiler where it gets lots of mud that it picks up from the canals. So all that work's been done now. The President was built in 1909 for Felons Morton and Clayton, and it initially started as a boat running what they call fly run, which was non-stop between London and Birmingham. And at times it would carry a butty behind it, which we now have our own butty Kildare that we use as boat we're going around. But it would carry high value cargoes from London up to Birmingham, and then take things like bedsteads and steel things made in Birmingham back down to London again. The President was found in about 1975, and it's had a pretty poor life once it finished doing as a cargo carrying boat. It was a maintenance boat of British Waterways, and it's restored by Malcolm Brain and Nicholas Boxstock. They found it, well, they bought about 5 hulks, realised that one of them was President the steamer, so they actually set up a company themselves to try and, so they restored it, then tried to sell it to people using the steam. Decided that wasn't really making enough money, so they sold it to the Black Country Living Museum, who purchased it with Dudley Council. And then shortly after that, the Friends of President, which is a society that I'm now the chairman of, were put together to actually maintain and run the boat on behalf of the Black Country Museum. The steam engine we have in there isn't an original, because the original Haynes steam engines were all got rid of in the early 20s.
One of the highlights of President's recent career was an invitation to take part in the Queen's Jubilee celebrations in 2012.
We represented Staffordshire and the Lord Lieutenant of Staffordshire, so I mean that was really was a momentous journey. It took us 2 weeks to get down to London, and then of course there was the pageant itself. although the weather was awful, in some ways it was quite good for our boat because it was overcast. Then the steam actually showed it quite magnificently in the parade.
I've been involved with Friends of President for about 3 years now. This is my second winter. You get a laugh out of it, but you also get well, some experience, especially on the engineering side, working with the boiler and the engine. I'm an apprentice fitter in a local quarry to where I live, so engineering is well, my trade. Hopefully I'll progress on to being a driver, but after that I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It takes quite a while to become a driver. This is my 3rd year. Hopefully I'll finish that this year and become a driver next year. There's a lot to learn on the engineering side of learning how to manage the boiler and the engine, and all the different valves and all that kind of stuff. So when you are driving, you're obviously looking after the engine and the boiler, but you also have to be aware of what's around you, what's coming up in front of the boat. But there's also the helmsman will be ringing several bells, and each bell has a different meaning to it. So if this, for instance, ding, President, ding, that's go faster. Or if you've got ding, ding, that's reverse. Or there's all different, the different bells. And you have to be aware of that as you're going along your normal duties.
I'm a member of crew. I steer both boats. I don't go in the engine hole. So I tie them up, I steer them. I do what I'm told, basically.
So, job done. And it'll soon be time for another year on England's inland waterways.